The relationship between the police department and the fire department is critical, especially in these times. We have to work together, and we've all seen on television where people have been hurt and we haven't been able to get medical attention to them quickly.
Used to be the fire would wait and then go in. Now we're having them go in to treat victims a lot sooner because we're protecting them as they go in.
The unfortunate world we live in now, this is not one of those things that we think might happen. We're pretty confident that one day it's going to happen. We hope it doesn't happen here, but we need to be prepared for that.
The Rose Bowl normally hosts large-scale events, so if something were to occur and there were mass casualties, we have to know how to respond.
And so given the venue that we have here and the partnership that we have between the City of Pasadena and the Rose Bowl, we were able to offer an environment that could be really real to the responders throughout our state.
The effort that was made to make this a successful event really started with Cal-JAC and their involvement about 4 months ago. We did several planning meetings, both off-site and on-site. We had several phone calls, obviously.
This was a pretty large endeavor for both PD and fire to undertake. It started months ago with an idea and some training to our personnel in anticipation for it.
It was really a good dialogue between the Cal-JAC staff and the Pasadena Fire and Police Departments.
Our partners in the private sector as well. The Rose Bowl staff was instrumental in making all of this come together for us.
Having Cal-JAC here with grant money to help fund this made it possible for us to do it because most cities are suffering right now with budgetary items.
You could tell that the exercise design was very well thought out, and it was planned extremely well, and it was implemented well.
On the day of the exercise, the victim showed up early. They got moulage based on the types of injuries, whether it was a vehicle type injury or a gunshot type injury. We did a lot of effort to make sure all the victims acted correctly around the officers and the firefighters.
There are some things we can't simulate as far as stress goes in the real life response, but simulating the wounds and simulating the environment that was as realistic as possible for the responders.
The simulation was a concert going on here at the Rose Bowl, which happens all the time.
There was a vehicle driving through one of the gates, causing a couple casualties, and then 2 shooters getting off of that car, then causing casualties from gunfire.
We had, I believe, 11 agencies from law enforcement. We had 8 agencies from the fire departments and local districts, all responding here. We had about 75 firefighters here and about 90 police officers.
Law enforcement guys, as soon as they realized that there was an active shooter happening, they took action, put the shooter down, and started working on establishing a warm zone.
At the Rose Bowl, they do this all the time. They typically have EMS, fire, and law enforcement on site for the smaller type threats. But a big threat like this has challenged them. It involved multiple agencies that had to build an ICS structure and engage into a large stadium from multiple access points, put together rescue task forces from multiple agencies to go in and provide rapid treatment and eventual extraction of the victims.
This is a worst case scenario, so it allowed us to work together, form good lines of communication, and exercise our tools of the trade to try and mitigate what somebody would try and do to bring harm to Pasadena.
Venues such as the Rose Bowl, to move victims from the center of the warm zone to a cold zone, that's a good example where a casualty collection point would be most beneficial because of the distances that responders have to cover.
Getting into a structure that is a defendable structure for law enforcement, and it allows the firefighting personnel or the EMS personnel that level of security to triage people quickly, efficiently, and get them moving.
Law enforcement side, they were the initial ones to get engaged. During our hot wash of the Rose Bowl exercise, the law enforcement and fire agencies were all given the opportunity to discuss their teams and their groups.
Feedback that we got was overwhelmingly positive. The responders that were involved, I think they got their money's worth as far as their participation. They felt like it was excellent training.
Our firefighters gained some hands-on experience to really play out the things that they learned in the classroom.
Number one is making sure that the relationship you have with law enforcement and fire is very robust and have good communication in between both agencies.
Overall, they set up a strong command post and had strong command and control during the entire exercise, but their tactical teams learned the most because they had to adapt to some challenging situations and to working with partner agencies.
It's like with muscle memory. You know, the more training you do, the better you get at it. So that was the purpose of hosting this large-scale training today.
We appreciate the work that Cal-JAC has provided for us really put us in a much better place. We appreciate all the support from our mutual aid partners that responded today.
I think that the collaborative effort that's been made here has certainly made the Rose Bowl and the city of Pasadena a much safer place to live and to come and enjoy these venues.